I remember the exact moment it all came crashing down. The kitchen smelled faintly of burnt toast and coffee, but I barely noticed. I was staring at my wife, Marissa, standing by the counter, scrolling through her phone as if nothing had changed between us. 15 years. 15 years of birthdays, arguments, late-night talks, and shared dreams. And yet, in that instant, I realized I didn't know her at all. "Pack your things," I said, my voice steady, almost eerily calm. "And leave." She froze, her hand gripping the phone tighter, and looked at me like I'd grown a second head. What are you saying?" I took a deep breath, forcing the anger down so I could speak without it cracking my voice. "I know everything, Marissa. All of it. I know about him." Her eyes widened, and the phone slipped from her hands onto the counter. I could see the color drain from her face. The air between us thickened, heavy with disbelief, betrayal, and fear. You can't," she started, but I cut her off. "Yes, I can," I said, feeling the weight of years of trust being ripped away. "You think I didn't notice the late nights at work, the constant texting, the little excuses that didn't add up? I gave you every chance to tell me to stop this before it went too far, and you didn't." She looked down, ashamed, but that was mixed with defiance. It's not what you think," she murmured, her voice breaking. I laughed, bitter and hollow. "Not what I think. Marissa, I saw the messages. I saw the pictures. 15 years. And you throw it all away for a fling that you pretended didn't exist." Tears welled up in her eyes, but they couldn't mask the guilt, the panic. I didn't mean to hurt you. Just, it happened. I was lonely, and I made a mistake." "A mistake," I repeated, each word like a hammer blow. 15 years of marriage, and you call this a mistake? Her silence was deafening. I could see every thought racing through her mind. Justification, rationalization, fear. I wanted to scream, to break something, to punish her, but instead I felt an emptiness spread through me, cold and heavy. "I can't do this anymore," I said finally. "I can't pretend this didn't happen. I can't pretend that we can go back to the way things were. 15 years, Marissa. Gone in a blink because you couldn't be honest." She staggered back, as if I had physically struck her. "So, you're just leaving me?" "I'm asking you to leave," I corrected, the edge in my voice sharper now. "Tonight. Take your things, go. I can't live with someone I can't trust." Her lips trembled, and for the first time I saw fear. She opened her mouth to speak, then closed it, looking away. She didn't argue further. She knew she had lost. I turned away and sat at the table, my hands shaking. My mind replayed every moment that now seemed tainted by her betrayal. The smiles, the touches, the promises. I had believed in us, in the life we built together. And she had shattered it silently, piece by piece. After a few long, tense minutes, she moved toward the bedroom, her footsteps heavy, reluctant. I heard the zipper of her suitcase, the rustle of clothes, the soft thud of objects being packed. Each sound was a dagger in my chest, each movement a confirmation that the woman I thought I knew had disappeared. I stayed in the kitchen, staring at the coffee cup she had left behind. Steam curled lazily into the air, unaware of the storm between us. I wanted to hate her, to scream at her, to demand answers that I wasn't sure I would get. But all I felt was a hollow, aching sorrow. Finally she approached me, suitcase in hand, eyes red and swollen. "Mark, I'm sorry," she whispered, voice trembling. "Please, can we?" "No," I said, cutting her off gently but firmly. "There's nothing left to fix. I hope you understand the gravity of what you've done, the life you've thrown away. And I hope someday you realize that honesty was always better than this deception." She nodded slowly, tears streaming down her cheeks. For a fleeting moment, I saw the woman I married. Vulnerable, remorseful, human. But it was too late. The bond, the trust, the years of shared life had been broken beyond repair. I watched as she walked toward the door, suitcase dragging behind her, each step heavy with regret. When the door closed behind her, the silence of the apartment was deafening. 15 years of laughter, arguments, midnight talks, and dreams now existed only as memories, echoes in the walls that had once held our love. I sat back, head in my hands, trying to grasp the enormity of the moment. The betrayal wasn't just about the affair. It was about losing the person you believed you knew, realizing that someone you loved could betray that trust so easily. Hours later, I found myself standing by the window, staring at the city lights, the distant hum of traffic mixing with the pounding of my heart. I realized that grief doesn't always arrive in waves. Sometimes it comes quietly, creeping into every corner of your life, leaving a hollow ache that lingers long after the moment has passed. I didn't cry that night. There was no dramatic collapse, no shouted accusations. Just silence, and the heavy, crushing awareness that my life, as I had known it, was over. The next morning, I woke to an empty apartment. The sunlight streamed through the blinds, warm and indifferent. I made coffee and sat at the table, staring at the empty chair across from me. The scent of her perfume lingered faintly in the air, a cruel reminder of what had been lost. I didn't know what the future held. I only knew that the life I had built with her had ended, and that trust, once shattered, cannot be pieced back together. I had asked her to leave, and she had, because sometimes, love isn't enough to repair the damage caused by betrayal. As I sipped my coffee, the reality settled in. 15 years gone. Not with a bang, but with the quiet, unbearable weight of deception. And I knew, deep in my bones, that this was the moment my life irrevocably changed.